Yeah, do you want to step in like after like 5 games or something?
You're recording. You're recording.
The Chinakhov has really played good in the match earlier today, but hard to bet against a Filipino. That experience and somebody told me in Asia he won 4 gold medals playing A-ball, so it's not his first day on the job.
Yeah, I just sort of feel like, from what I've seen, I feel like Chinakhov's been the player of the tournament. But as you well know, I mean, you've played in a lot of championship matches, and it's at this stage, it's not about necessarily how good you are. It's how good you kind of deal with the occasion and kind of. I like if it goes close. I like Levan to win. I think if Ruslan can kind of settle and kind of get free stroking early and build a big lead, then I think that's probably going to be the best way that he can win, if you like. So yeah.
Okay, tonight the race changes just a little bit. It goes one more game. It's a race to 16, and yesterday we started with the winter breaks. We started out the first couple of days with the alternate to break, but we've seen some pretty good packages today, and the 2 guys here that are playing in the finals, they're the ones that had it. Lee Van really came on strong. Darren Appleton had him 9-4, and then the next time Appleton shot, he was down 10-9. So he broke and run out 5 times, plus the break that Darren came up dry on, and then Chinakhov started out the day at 11 a.m. and opened up with a 6-pack.
Yeah. Do you are you in favour of the winner break at 8-ball, Nick, or do you prefer alternate break?
Well, I think these long races, I think I kind of like winter break, but I think in the shorter races, if it's under 10, I think I like the alternate.
Yeah, okay, I see your point.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I prefer winner breaks, obviously, over longer formats. I think you're going to get a few chances to run a few packages, and don't be surprised in this match if there's quite a few big scores run. Both players capable of running 6, 7 and even more.
So he's got quite a bit of angle here. Does he bump the 6 possibly, just to kind of give himself a couple options?
I like that idea, coming off that second rail. Ooh.
Yeah, he kind of had to hit 2 rails there, Nick, didn't he? He had to kind of hit the side rail before he hit the 6-ball. He played it a little bit pacey for me. I felt like he could have played that a little bit of slower pace and kind of, played it with a touch more control.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Mick. He's been a little bit fortunate because I still think the green stripe goes.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's a really poor shot there from Lee Van, and he'll be really disappointed because he had a great opportunity to break and run the first rack.
And it's sort of surprising to see, because I know one thing that I've noticed this week, that the guys that play with the equipment on a regular basis, they're so good with a cue ball. And even if kind of at times you feel like, the pattern isn't 100% as you'd play it in 8-ball, because the guys are so good with a cue ball, they still kind of get out anyway. So to see somebody of Lee Van's class misread the natural angle, if you like, there, perceiving that he was going to miss the 4 and run past it, you don't see that very often from these guys. Normally they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and I agree with Chris. I agree on that shot where he was, not this last one, but the one before, he should have soft spun that and caught it off the second rail, just bumped it out.
Yeah, if he'd have just played...
Instead of hitting it so hard.
Yeah, just played it nice and slow with a touch of left-hand spin, 2 rails, and just flicked the 6. That in turn would have left him perfect on the green stripe up the rail. And there we see Ruslan put him in a hell of a snooker, and I'm not quite sure how he's going to win this frame, Levan.
Yeah, I'd like to be the guy with the most balls out there.
For sure, yeah, for sure. And it's one of the things I do kind of like about 8-ball as opposed to the rotation game. I feel like if you make a mistake running out, 9 times out of 10 you're punished to the max. Whereas sometimes playing rotation games, you can actually get away with making mistakes and still win the rack. I.e., you miss the ball, you don't leave it, etc., etc., etc. Usually in 8-ball, if you make the mistake, that's the sort of the last kind of time you're going to see anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what I notice is shots that I don't even think there's any pressure on. In 9-ball, there's real pressure there in the 8-ball. Because you know if you're rolling the 8 in or something, if it happens to hang, you lose.
Yes.
A little bit surprised with that shot there, Mick. He could have put the cue ball behind the 7 and hit it with a little bit more pace. Still playing the same shot, but freeing the 7.
Well, yes, Chris, but I mean, I did think that at first, and I've just twigged on to what he's doing here. We are playing the 3 foul consecutive rule. So he's on 1 foul. You would think, you know, this is... He may hit it, okay, but if he doesn't, he then drops him back in behind again, puts him on the 3 foul rule.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful playing the 3 cushion rail kick here in case the cue ball slides in the top corner pocket.
Oh, super shot.
Wow.
But again, he's dead. He's just going to play the 3 onto the 11 and kill the game.
Yeah.
Even hide the cue ball behind the 3 when playing this shot.
I think that's where your experience really shows up. I really wouldn't want to get in a... I'm going to try to avoid, if I were playing either one of you guys, avoid trying to get into, if I can, a defensive battle with a lot of balls on the table, because I know there's a lot of movement there where you can get trapped in a hurry. And I saw that with Darren played a game with Arcola. And I said when that started, I said I really like Darren in this game.
Yeah, I actually remember the game that you were talking about, and obviously we've all grown up together playing the English-style form of 8-ball, and there's a little bit more tactical play involved. And Darren's always been renowned for being very, very good in that position. Very clever player, he can manufacture winning positions with less balls on the table, you know, and he's always been very, very good at that. You know, it's kind of this situation here, and I mean, yeah, you like him to play the 2, but he's not forced to attack here. He didn't have to attack. I'm not saying that he was wrong to attack, but I'm just saying he wasn't forced into it.
Played a good shot there, though, Mickey. He made sure that the cue ball came away from the rail to make this next shot a lot easier. It's just a simple stop shot now to leave the angle on the 3.
And again, it's just one of the things that I really like about 8-ball. Lee Van's gone for the out. He didn't get out, and the chances are he's going to lose the rack. You get punished for your mistakes in 8-ball.
Just a touch short there, but I think he's okay. Maybe able to hold the cue ball with the touch of right-hand spin. He has got the insurance that if he does miss, he will probably hook him behind the 8.
Wow.
Well, there's a confident shot.
Yeah, I really didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I think he could have played the other shot that I said, and it was a lot more safe.
Well, it's a sign of confidence and a sign of nerves because he didn't want to drop the ball in. He was feels a little bit tentative with his cueing at this stage, and he wanted to hit it. So it looks like a shot that's really, really full of confidence, but in another way can be perceived to be a shot that's full of nerves. You know?
Well, you're certainly making a good point there because he kind of cinched that ball, you know what I mean? When you roll it, the nerves, he can do that again.
He seems to get the second 2 balls close to the centre pocket on every break. There's one of them straight in the side.
Wow, straight in.
Yes.
And he seems to get such good spreads, too.
And truth be told, you can't hit the break any better than that. I mean, He's hit them absolutely flush. He's made the second ball in the side. The cue ball never went anywhere. You know, kind of. You almost deserve a good spread hitting them like that. You know.
Yeah, I think the pattern he needs to take here, Mick, is get rid of the 3-4 and the 2 as soon as possible. And in turn, he can leave the 7 over the side to leave a good angle on the 6 and just softly screw into the 8 and the 1.
I like that. I like that real well. I can't improve on that. How about you, Mick?
No, it's yeah. I mean,
you don't really want to be running up and down the table on finishes.
oh wow.
Well, I can't believe he's taking, unless the 2 ball doesn't go past the
I
11.
don't think it may not go. He's a little thin here, I think, unless he may have to kiss off the 9 to do what you're talking about here, Chris.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. He doesn't make the 1 ball in the same shot. He's got to hit this slowly. Nice soft touch on the 8 and the 1.
No, he's able to.
That's nice. That's nicely
Yeah.
played.
But boy, this don't look like any picnic to get back up table, huh?
Yeah, and like you say, when he's played the first shot, if the 2 doesn't go, should he have played the 4 past the 11? You know, or whichever ball is his bottom left. It's a bit tricky to see on our screen. I just feel like kind of, you know, if the 4 and the 2 ball aren't there, like you suggested before, he's out. Now he's got to play potentially kind of 3 rails maybe to come round, or can he kind of spin it past the 8 and get there, or...
I think he can spin it, Mick. He's just got to be careful it doesn't slide behind the 2 and doesn't have a shot, really. He needs a lot of spin on this.
He's not kind of... no, that's no good.
And that's exactly why he should have got rid of the 2 balls earlier, because he's
Yeah.
perfect on the 8 ball now. It was 10 times easier to land on the 8 from the 1 ball than it was to get back down the table again.
Well, when he hit that 1 and put it in that position, he kind of locked himself up a little bit. You know, he didn't have nothing easy to do there, and you've seen how he could hardly get away from the outside, the top high point of that corner pocket.
Yeah.
He just barely got beyond that point. If he hit the point, yeah, I don't know if he can soft spin this in. I think he has, well, he's elevating, so that means he's got to curve it a little more drastically.
I think it's automatic position if he does make it.
Yeah.
I don't like him for this, I'll be honest. No, I didn't like him for that. And then the issue as well was when he's playing the 1 ball, because he's jacked up a little bit, he's going to automatically get topspin on the cue ball, which then in turn, as we know, when it hits the rail, it transfers to backspin. So he couldn't really get round there, because the harder that he hits it, the more it goes against him. So he couldn't really get round there, 3 rails going high on the wide.
I thought there he might have to, on that 1 ball, I thought he might even have to take a long shot there. Well, I seen that, boy, it was tough. I didn't think he could get around. I'm surprised he got as far as he did, tell you the truth, on that 3-railer.
I agree with you. Well, he couldn't really get there, couldn't he? He couldn't really get there.
He made a big mistake not getting these 2 balls out. That's the key of the. He got punished for, you know, we've seen that time and time again in this tournament, how the players, most of the time, I'd say at least 80 to 95% of the time, they take the balls off one end and then they move to the other end and take them off.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I said when he went into the 1 ball, he should have caught the 8 and the 1 together. It gave him a natural angle to draw the white down the table.
That's a good point, because what got him in trouble, he pushed it too close to the rail. If it would have stopped maybe 3-4 inches sooner, he could have just bounced off the rail, come right up for the 4, and had a throw in.
And in truth, to be honest, on this equipment, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the players that you've been watching still get out when they make the odd, calculated error. So from a kind of 8-ball perspective, you know, we don't want to wish anything bad on the players, of course, but the fact that he did make a mental error as far as the pattern of the run out on this occasion, he got punished for it. You don't always see that on this equipment because the guys are so good with the cue ball, they still get out anyway.
Well, what I like about this table here is normally when you get to Derby City, I have an idea those pockets are usually about 4 3/4. This table is 4 1/4, and that ½ inch, that really helps, you know, make it a little tougher to run out where you got to stay in position better, and the better you pick the balls, the better chance it gives you. And
certainly where 8-ball's concerned, because, you know, you're kind of supposed to be close into your work. It's a stop-start game. So the pockets do really need to be kind of small, really, to play it nicely. I mean, you're playing a rotation game where you're dictated to the numbers you have to play. You have to work the cue ball around the table far more than what you do at 8-ball. So, you know, really the pocket size does have to suit the discipline that you're playing.
oh, you got. Okay.
Because I think you can still wire it from here. I think we've got to go, you know, I think we've got to go maybe another half a diamond again.
So kind of what you're saying is they're probably going to be breaking off that rail.
I think so. I think in truth, from the last 16 onwards, I think the standard and calibre of the players that we've got here, it's still kind of a breaking contest to a point. It's not as bad as it normally is in 8-ball on this equipment, but it's still very much who's making balls and who's not making balls, and I think we can tweak that a little bit more again. Would you agree with that, Chris, or disagree?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the class of the players that we have from the start, really. I mean, you're talking about the best players on the planet, and I do know in golf that when all the players was putting very, very confidently, they managed to reduce the size of the cup, so they made it more difficult. And I do think in any sport, when it becomes easy for the top players, you've got to try and make it more difficult somehow.
I agree 100%, but it seems like over the years in this country, they want to make it easier. I like almost any rule that brings me to the table more often.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. I think when you kind of, like you're saying, you talk about different games or you're talking about different sport and evolution and things move on. I'm not suggesting, from my opinion, I don't think the players now are any better than what they were in your day, Nick. And we spoke about this the other day. I actually feel like the players in your day were more knowledgeable because I felt like the equipment required more knowledge. Now we're playing on cloths that obviously is lightning quick, balls where you can draw it back when you land straight in and pretty much draw it back wherever you like. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the standard has got better. The equipment has got better. And it appears like the standard of the players are higher, but I don't think so. I think the standard of play was maybe even higher. I think the likes of yourself and Earl and Efren and Buster and those guys, I think play better, in my opinion.
Well, when you think about it, you don't see many Mike Siegel, Buddy Halls from my country, and Earl Strickland's and Johnny Archer's. Since Johnny Archer come along in our country, you know, about the only great player I think that fits into that category would be Shane Van Boning.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I'm a little bit surprised here with Ruslan. He took the solids, but there was 2 solids which are still tied up now, which is obviously the 5-ball and the 6-ball. He can bank the 5, but he never played for this. No, I think personally, I would have taken stripes because he could have cut the ball in the bottom right-hand corner and brought his bad ball out first shot. It was risky, but I think it was worth the risk.
Well, and plus, you know, if you took the other group, you had a pretty easy bank cross corner if you don't have any way to get it out, where the top ball, you can't bank it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, just leading on to what you're saying there, Chris, I think sometimes when you come to the table, you've got two sets of balls that are both difficult. But sometimes you get a scenario where once you start potting one set of balls, the other ones start to become more easier the more balls you pot of your own set. And you find yourself selling out. The more balls you pot, the easier you're making the layout for the other set of balls. And in that instance there, you could kind of half go for stripes, and even if you break down, you're not really selling out. Whereas on the spots there, the solids, if you like, whatever you want to call them, once you start potting them, you're then selling out, which is what's gone on here. And he's been very fortunate, to be fair, that he's missed the bank, played the cannon, and still not brought the 12 and the 4 into play.
I'm a little bit surprised there with Lee, and also I think I'd have tried to stop that ball dead, get rid of the ball at the bottom of the table, and then he had many opportunities to break the ball out near the 6 or even play on it. He can play on it off the 9. I would prefer to break it out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have been shooting 11 next, but maybe he was. Maybe he just overstroked it.
Yeah, maybe just got hold of it a little bit, a bit of adrenaline, kind of put a stroke on it as opposed to not put a stroke on it kind of thing, you know.
Well, the thing he has to do here, Mick, is he has to hit the pink stripe as thin as he can, either side.
I don't mind if he hits the 6 half ball, though, on the left hand as we look. You know, he can make the 6 or push the 6 out of the way. Oh, wow.
Well, that was a crazy shot, in my opinion.
Absolutely crazy.
He's gone into the balls at 100 mile an hour, and for anybody watching at home, anybody learning the game, never smash into balls when there's no need to do it. He's relying on a little bit of luck there, and you've just seen exactly what can happen when you play them kind of shots.
Yeah, and truth be told, it's been quite scrappy, hasn't it? The first 3 racks.
Yeah, they both showed a little weakness here starting out.
But you kind of called us a little bit, Nick, before the start. You know, it's kind of the final, and you got to settle in, and it's sort of you can't win the game in the first 10 racks, but you can kind of make it really hard for yourself to come back if you're not careful.
Well, the decision making, sometime you think you see everything, you see all the different options, and other days you get in a fog, and I'm not so sure, but that's where these two is huge, because 9 ball, it's the same thing, but I think this game's even more demanding. Now look at that second ball go. Wow, that's huge. But look at that 6-8 down there. Wow.
Little bit unlucky, but again, he can break the ball out, but he needs to break it out with control. And straight away, he can break it out with the first shot. Little risky, but I think he has to take that risk.
I agree with you. You're talking about coming off that 5 ball over there and going 2 rails?
Yeah, I prefer the 2 rails. And the reason I prefer the 2 rails is it stops me from making the 8 ball in the same shot. If you go 2 rails, you can hit the 8. As long as you hit it with a nice little bit of pace, you'll still be on the 6 past the 8. If you hit the 6, you'll still be on it.
I'm not sure what the angle is from here, whether the 8's a little bit far. Do you like making the 1 and playing on the 2 and playing the 2 in off the 8?
Yeah, you could possibly.
Is that an option?
It's a little bit thin, I think, Mick.
You think the 8 ball's just sticking out just a little bit too far?
Yeah, it's a little fat.
A little fat, yeah.
I like this shot, but with control, not smashing it. 2 rails, nice bit of right-hand English.
No, he went. He missed it.
Well, that's a poor miss.
Well, he don't quite look like the same player so far. that he was this morning, but he's getting tougher layouts too. He got a lot. That's 6-8. They reverse positions this morning.
Yeah. That can happen as well. We know all too well.
Well, this is the joy of obviously playing a long race. Everybody's going to make mistakes. You're not really going to see somebody run 15 racks,
No.
16 racks.
No.
But what you will do, you will see when somebody starts hitting a little bit of form, the other guy will probably react to that, and he'll probably start hitting a bit of form. And what happens is, when a player seems to struggle, the other player seems to struggle a little bit. And then when the other player plays well, they seem to play well.
What you're saying is bring your opponent to your level.
I think obviously we're playing a game where there's just such a fine line between running 2 packs and running 6 packs. You know, it's like the game that's so popular back home in England is snooker. You know, and every now and again you have to play the colour and you have to go into the cluster of reds. And sometimes you land on a red and you make 100 break. Sometimes you go into the cluster, you don't land on a red and you break down on 24 or 25. There is very, very fine lines in any form of cue sport of whether it may be a 2-pack, a 6-pack, a 30 break or a century break. You know, you need things to happen for you. You need the ball sometimes to roll your way. You know, me and a good friend of mine, he's floating around somewhere, Carl Boys, we were talking about today, and we were talking about kind of certain players in certain sports tend to get that one good extra roll, if you like, as opposed to others. And I watch so much golf, Nick, and I'm a huge fan of Tiger Woods, as you'd imagine, because he's so good. But in his day, if he played a bad shot, you can guarantee that there would be a shot to get to the green. You know, there was no tree in the way. There was no kind of hazard in the way. It's just how it was. But you make your own luck as well, I think, you know.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth to that because a lot of the shots Tiger Woods made, like some of those 40-foot putts, I mean, you know, I think it's maybe he just wheeled that ball.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody's that good.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like he's a little bit more blessed than the next man. You know, as great as he is, it's just how it is.
Okay, that ties up the match 2-2.
You know, the Filipinos are always strong anyway. They always put together and of course the UK. I think there was a good kind of 10, 12 of us like made the trip over as well. So very much an international field. One thing I think I'd like to see, again, something that I may suggest to Darren going forward, I think when we're playing such a long race in a final, I'd maybe like to see it played in 2 sessions. I feel like kind of, you know, the guys have played 2 long races together already today. Lee Van's like won a shootout against Darren only like, what, an hour and a half ago. And I just wonder whether kind of, maybe we go to 20, maybe we go to 21, and maybe you play sort of 20 racks, then let the guys in the challenge event play the final, and then the guys come back and play the second half. I think I really like the idea of playing split sessions in finals because, you know, you don't want to lose the final in the first session, so to speak. So, I don't know, maybe that's just my feeling, but how do you see that, Chris?
Yeah, I like that because you can have a pretty average session and still be in the game, where sometimes in the first half of the match you may struggle, things might not go your way, and sometimes you tend to give up a little bit. You lose the will. Where if you're playing 2 sessions, you know at some point you're probably going to get another chance.
I just think it's such a long race, you know.
You know, it figures to be around 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, don't be wrong. You know, there's a skill to the concentration. There's a skill to be able to play that long. But you know, really, really deep down, we want the best player on the day to come out as the winner and win the tournament. not the one that's necessarily the, you know, not so much the fitter, but kind of, you know, I like 2 sessions.
Ooh, he missed that ball on the side. Wow.
Well, both players really struggling here. You can see that the pressure's getting to them a little bit. Personally, I thought Lee Van played the wrong shot. I thought he would have played, when he potted the 6, I thought he would have run through maybe 2 or 3 inches and cut the 7 ball in and then go into the balls that was tied up. The cue ball would have gone through, and obviously the 7 was a lot easier shot. But he's there and we're in the commentary box, so we can't really question him. Well, you can, Nick, because you didn't play. But me and Mick did, and...
Well, we're in a good spot here. It's not quite so pressure packed here.
Never missed a ball from here. So okay, let's have a little look. It looks like the 15 lasts for me.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mick.
I just wonder what Mick was just talking about, and you guys about the, you know, that was a pretty grueling match, and they had a lot of tough layouts, and Lee Van CORTEZA had to use up a lot of mineral energy in that match, and
you see, this pattern what Ruslan's done here, he never had to play this shot what he's playing. He could have played that the first ball and been in the same position as where he was just then, next to the 15 ball.
yeah.
Yeah, in all honesty, the last 2 balls there in the pattern was the 14 and the 15 with the other balls finished.
Yeah.
In truth, I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much in this instance, but...
We've slightly gone the wrong side. I think he's okay, can just draw the cue back slightly. He does look very confident when he's in, to be fair.
Well, he pulls back into the lead, 3-2.
Wow. That time he hit them too good. He missed the 7 high. He hit them that good.
Yeah, he has got a tremendous break.
So he's made a stripe?
A stripe, yeah.
He's made a stripe.
They're a little bit tricky.
Probably the toughest ball is probably this one over here, although that well,
yeah, and it's kind of a little bit sticky to get to, and it kind of, the 1 ball's not his friend because he could play the 9 and play straight into that area. So the 1 ball's not his friend here. If he plays the 14, the 4 ball's not really his friend because he doesn't really want to hit it because he doesn't want to catch it either side. He's forced to play the 9 here, in all truth.
I'm just wondering if he can play rail first to pot the orange when he makes a 9.
Okay, yeah, good call.
So.
Very, very good call. You're saying kind of play cushion first here.
Rail first, so you get the natural angle on the 15 ball to go straight up, back up the table.
Very, very well spotted there. And by Ruslan as well, obviously. Yeah, very good.
The only thing there, you had to be careful you didn't hit too far from the ball.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Because the ball had to go in this part of the pocket toward us.
Do you play past the 14 here, Chris, or do you play onto the 14?
I think I will
He's
play
played past it.
Yeah, I would have played the same shot.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, I like that too.
I like that.
And then he can just play for the, is it the green 14, is it, or the 13?
Does he pass the 7, or does he have to come top rail, side rail for it into the other pocket?
Yeah, I'd play around the back of the 2 ball personally.
Oh, well, he's drawing it, so it must go. Well, surely he's got to play top rail, side rail here.
Yeah, for me, if it's that tight, you've got to play the top rail, side rail.
And play the 14 into where he's striking from. No, he's seen it must go. Wow.
It's never, ever, ever the right shot, that, Mick. I'm sorry, but if he gets out, he gets out, but that is never the right shot.
To me, he topped off the side rail, top rail, side rail, sort of around the back of the 2 and played it into the other pocket.
Yeah, because then when you pot it, you can play the rail and come back up for the 8 ball in the corner past the 3.
Well, that's a confidence builder.
But he's made the black missable, Nick, where before
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure it was missable. I still think he'll make the ball, of course.
But there's always a chance.
That's there.
But now, well, he's ahead 4-2 here.
Where's the white?
Ooh, he lost the white. Well, I think he got kissed, didn't he?
Well,
for me, there's only one shot he can play here, Mick.
yeah, well, there's certainly no
Well,
prizes.
there's two.
There's certainly no prizes for what set of balls he's going to play, I promise you that.
Well, for me, he has to play the 6 or the 5 in the centre, roll through towards the 15 ball, even hit the 15 ball.
Well, the 15 is your friend here.
Yes.
The 15 is your friend. That's your buffer.
Okay, what Mick and Chris are saying here, you use that 15 when. Wouldn't you follow this ball down?
Yeah, I'd have definitely followed the 6. I'd have played the 6 personally. I would definitely follow it.
I think he's still going to hit into the 15 here.
Cushion first.
It is pretty much the same principle. Again, a prime example, Nick, because you're the type of player, you're a follow player, where you want to play the natural line of the natural ball, you would have played the follow there, or you would have played the other ball. He's played a stun. He's stunned the line to the 15. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the follow because I can see I'm shooting down the line.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Got to be a little bit careful. He doesn't roll too far forward here.
But
I mean, I would always coach, certainly like, you know, I would profess to be more confident in making a statement playing on the English type table than these tables, but I'd always coach to try and find the natural angles and play the natural lines. All the time you're trying to play a stun shot, you're manipulating the cue ball to find the line. It's a totally different skill.
yeah, one thing, certainly the older I get, the more level I like to keep my cue.
Yeah.
Because I've played so much 9-ball in my life that that game kind of sets up to play with low, you know.
But as we spoke about, obviously someone like Lee Van, who's, I mean, a world class player, you know, like real top draw player. You know, he's so good with the cue ball. He can, in that instance, he can play whatever ball he wants. He's never going to miss the 15.
Just needs to be a little bit careful here what he's leaving for his last ball to get on the 8. I think I'd personally leave the 6.
Yeah.
Play the 2, the 1, the 3, and just roll off the side rail, or even into the ball.
I kind of like the idea of playing the 2 round the back of the 3 ball, obviously, and kind of plonking yourself in the kind of middle of the 3 of them. And you know.
Yeah, that's what I would have played.
Okay, so he's played the run around. Does he then play the 6 next?
Yeah, I kind of like playing the 6 and using the 3 to set up for the 8. What about you?
Well, I would have played with half an eye to get on the 6 there. Because why not? What do you lose? You put the cue ball somewhere near the 10, you've got a choice of whatever you like.
Well, maybe that 3's not so good because I see this one, the pocket that you'd like to play it in is, well, he must be, yeah, that 3, I didn't see that one stripe there. That's not so good, huh? Coming off the 3 to get shape.
Yeah, I mean, does he play the 3 and bump into the stripe, then play the 6 in the side to get on the 8? Does he play the 6 now?
That's what I would have played, Mick. I would have played the 3, just roll off the side of the 11 ball, play it with a bit of right-hand spin so that when the cue ball comes off the rail, it spins down slightly so you have a better angle.
Yeah.
Are you saying you come straight up with right English, or you go around the?
Well, I would have played on the 6. I would have played on the 6 2 shots ago, but you know it's sort of the same kind of principle. You know, nothing's really changed. It just.
I really don't like this shot.
I think he's going to play to maybe draw before the side pocket.
Yeah, you just don't want the skid. Anytime you're rolling the ball, there is a chance that you get a skid.
I think he'll draw to the rail either after it or before it, however he feels. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, he got one thing you can see the different players, they do prefer different routes, just like that opening shot. I'm still thinking about that one.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's an absolute marathon. Levan CORTEZA, his match with Darren Appleton went right to the cliff, and he won a shootout. Now there you see a blue solid going down for Levan. So it's take what you make in this format, so he has to shoot solids.
Well, straight away he's got to shoot solids, but he's in a little bit of trouble. And the reason I say he's in a little bit of trouble is that 6 ball doesn't go anywhere. I'd be looking straight away to try and nudge the 13 stripe to the side rail.
So the 13 stripe down by the corner.
Yeah, straight away I'd try and get rid of that ball as soon as possible. He could even play it now, he could cut the 1 in, and depending what angle he has on the 4, cut the 3 ball in, and depending what angle he has on the 4, he may even be able to pot the 4 and run through. And he gives himself a guaranteed shot at the 5. Well, I've seen straight away what he's trying to do here, Ted. He's trying to make the 5, send the 7 into the side rail, and into his stripe. That in turn then opens the 6 ball to that corner pocket. And he's automatically going to be on the 1 ball. Perfect. Still in a bit of trouble. He could have done with being on the 7 now. And the reason I say that is, once he makes a 7, he can go 1 ball, 3 ball, and then he only has to play a stop shot on the 6 and it's automatic position onto the 8. Where now he can only see the 1, so he's going to have to play a couple of tricky shots here. We may see him play a combination shot with 6 to 7.
Whose advantage was it? Levan played about 3.5 hours, but he only had about an hour rest. Ruslan had about 6 hours to rest. So do you like, do you think maybe Levan is perhaps looser?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it, Ted. I mean, one is obviously Ruslan's had 6 hours, so he could have gone for like a little bit of a lie down and relax, add some food, do whatever he needs to do to prepare. And the other side of the coin is Levan's just finished a match, so he's in stroke. So he probably wants to continue. The only downside to that is he hasn't really had anything to eat. He's probably not had a great deal to drink. So eventually his energy levels are going to drop. But the thing is, we have the man from Czechia here. So
there you go.
He could have had the energy drink to keep him going. Just needs to be careful here. He doesn't want the 6 ball to get away from him. The reason I say this is he needs to send the 6 into the 7 before it hits the cushion. If he doesn't, we could see the 6 ball slide over and he may not have a shot. It's a great shot there.
What a touch.
Still another good shot required here, Ted. You can either soft draw this for the 8 ball in the side or draw it off the side cushion for the 8 ball in the left hand corner. Personally, I would prefer to draw it off the side cushion, but it's each to their own, it's up to him.
So this 8 ball to tie up the match. We're playing winner breaks. Race to 16. Oh, no.
Why so hard, Ted? Why so hard? I keep saying it time and time and time again. All the Filipinos, all the Chinese players, and I don't know why, smash the 8-ball in, or the 9-ball, or the 10-ball, whatever game we're playing. It doesn't matter what shot they have. Why not just roll the ball in, or play a stop shot? They seem to smash the ball at 100 mile an hour for no reason. I mean, the middle pockets are tight. We're playing on smaller pockets here. So it's even more a case of roll the ball.
I mean, that shot was way out of control.
Well,
right?
if you ask Lee Van to play that shot and roll that ball in, 100 out of 100, he would bet his life he'll get it 100 out of 100. Smashing it like that, you are going to miss it a few times.
I'll put that down on your score sheet if you are indeed keeping score. Rack number 8, Lee Van ready to tie with an 8-ball in the side. As Chris said, makes it 100 out of 100. But in this case, he missed it. Maybe it's the pressure. And that could be a big turning point.
Well, we've played 8 games, I think, after this. And I think 7 of the games, both players have had chances. So it could be, in essence, 8-0 to either player.
But that's a big, big error from CORTEZA. The balls don't like it when you do that. I mean, that's a very glaring mistake. So, and the action's been fantastic. Ruslan CHINAKHOV now with an absolute gift in the last rack. With CORTEZA missing the 8-ball, he downs a solid.
Well, I'm going to say something now, Ted. When mistakes like that happen, when you miss an 8-ball, don't be surprised if the opponent runs 4 or 5 racks.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yes.
And if you look at this break, this is basically stop shot, stop shot, stop shot. He's going to play the 3-ball, either the 4 or the 1. Either the 6 or the 4. Then the 1, 7, 2, and the 8. Well, that's a poor shot straight away from Ruslan there. And you see him tap the table. He knows it's a really poor shot. The cue ball's going to be running away from him here. He needs to drop this in as slow as possible.
Oh, you got to make it.
Well, that's just really, really, really poor judgment. He's left himself in no man's land. If the cue ball bounces off the rail 6 inches, 8 inches, he's still perfect. And he's landed in the only position where you really don't want to land. I mean, they couldn't be any easier if you asked them to be.
So all these errors from both players here, clearly a case of nerves.
Well, I'm not sure if it can be nerves now. I mean, they're 8 games in. This is the 9th game, and you can understand it for 3, maybe 4 games, but they've both had numerous opportunities. And like I said earlier, one of them could have been 8-0 up. Now you see another error straight away from Lee Van. Why has he left the cue ball there? Why not hit it harder? You're guaranteed a shot if you hit it harder.
Well, perhaps it's a case of a race to the bottom.
Well, he could do, really, with cutting this in and the 15 knocking the 4-ball in.
Oh,
There's another one, Ted.
Another miss in the side. So it's one after the next here. Don't know if the lights blink there for a second over the table.
Well, I think the hamster's, the wheel's going round, but the hamster's dead. Glaring errors from both players, and you can't really put it down to nerves because they're both winners. They've both won big tournaments, you know. It's just crazy thought processes.
I don't think either of these players have been to a final of this magnitude in quite a while.
There you see another one. He needed to be close to the pink stripe. He'd probably still run out, but this could still go wrong. He's having to play with right hand spin. You see the side spin? There was no need to play that if he'd just passed the pink.
Well, perhaps maybe the nerves are gone, but maybe they're not comfortable out here. Have to break in inside one of the two smaller boxes on the sides.
Just watch the 7-ball head towards the centre pocket, the second ball down, or the 10 in the left.
Well, they did track that way. A ball has gone down.
And again, Ruslan has a decent chance here to run out. A very good opportunity here. And obviously, after the last rack, he made a glaring error. And he would have been absolutely devastated after making that because it was an easy clearance. But obviously, with Lee Van missing straight back, he will have forgotten about that very quickly.
So he'll have to shoot solids.
Yeah, I think personally I would play the 7, the 1, the 2, the 4, the 3, the 6, and then the 8. And the reason I say leave the 6 to last is it makes it so much easier to get on the 8 ball if you do leave it to last.
Okay, let's see what he does if he follows your instructions. Indeed, 7.
Too hard. He did actually play for the 6 there, but he's actually really good, and this is the way he should be going. And now you see a perfect angle now to pot the 3, come into the 6 to also leave a perfect angle to get on the 8 ball. Just doesn't want to overhit this. Rather under it than overhit. Perfect.
Yeah, this is the path you were talking about at the beginning of this rack.
Yeah, he chose the second ball differently from myself, but, you know, it's what you feel comfortable with. He's out there. He's the one playing the shots.
Nicely done. So CHINAKHOV, that was a lot better. The finals, race to 16. Ruslan CHINAKHOV breaking off there in a monster break from the Russian. He leads 7-3 over the Philippines' Levan CORTEZA. CHINAKHOV beat Johan Chua of the Philippines earlier. And Levan CORTEZA beat Darren Appleton in the semifinals. In a shootout, went right to the cliff.
And another good break there from Ruslan, giving himself another great opportunity. Needs to get rid of the 10 ball. He doesn't want to play this stripe in the side pocket. If he plays the pink stripe in the top left-hand corner, he can draw back for the 10 ball. In turn, he's going to be on the bottom 2 stripes on the right-hand side of the table. His 15 really needs to be his last ball, what he takes to get on the 8.
So, Chris, how often do you see the pattern all the way to the 8-ball after the break? Does it happen a lot?
Every rack. Every rack, I know every shot what I want to play before I play it. And the reason for that is you have to give yourself opportunities where you have an A plan, and if that goes wrong, then you have a B plan. But always leave yourself chances where now the 10 ball's his hardest ball on the table, and he's going to have to leave a good angle on this 9 to draw down for the 10. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the way he's going, but the 8 ball doesn't go in the bottom left-hand corner, where if he left the 15 and the 9 for the last 2 balls, it was impossible to fail. And now he's going to have to play some really good shots, and this could go wrong. Now you can see Ruslan thinking, how do I get on the 10? Probably going to draw it softly behind the ball. Well, he's playing 4 rails. He's okay, but can he get good position on the 11 ball? I'm not sure he can. And he's missed it. I think he had a skid there, to be honest. He wouldn't have missed that ball by so far. And all that's come because he's played the wrong shot first shot. If he plays the 12 ball, draws down, plays the 10, plays the 2 stripes in the middle, 9 in the corner, the 15 in the side, and the 8 in the corner where he's just missed the 10.
So it's a case of getting out of position, and
Wrong.
it cost him.
Yeah, wrong shot. Completely the wrong shot. He's basically, to me, what I've just seen there is Ruslan's nerves have got the better of him. He knows what shot to play there, and he's rather taken the 15 ball because it was easier to pot, and he's thought, well, I'll get out a different way, where he should be leaving the 15 to last. And he probably knows that.
Just want to give you an update as Emron is leading Francisco 8-2, I believe. We just got that update from one of the referees, John Lehman.
Well, that's that other tournament called a Czechio Challenge, which is a tournament for those players who were beaten in this event, and it gives them another chance to get a payday and compete. So it's a completely separate tournament.
Well, Levan's played a good shot there, but it's a little bit risky because he has given him a chance. It's not an easy chance, but he has given him a chance. He may be able to bank this. Well, Ruslan's just, he's basically just shot himself in the foot there, because all you'll see Levan do here is probably just bump the 6 off the side rail and hook him. Or at least that's what I think he'll play.
You were talking about nerves, Ruslan's nerves, and oftentimes when you interview him and talk to him, and he brings up the subject of nerves. He's very into working on his psychology and his mental game, because he says that he has some issues with the nervousness.
Yeah, there is a lot of nerves, and obviously they can get to you. He's got a little opportunity. If he plays the double kiss, he's not playing it, but he could play the double kiss on the 10 and stick the 10 over the pocket. What he's doing here is he's forcing Levan to try and pot some of his balls so that he's got less chance of getting a snooker. He's just going to play the same shot again. is Ruslan.
And this could go on for a while.
Well,
Oh,
it turned slightly. You could see there Ruslan was a little bit worried. But all this is going to do is try to make Levan pot the 2 and the 3.
that's a tough shot.
I'm not sure he's going for it.
No. Just sending it down table or up table.
But to me there, that's a little bit of madness there, Ted. The reason I say this is because if he didn't get the hook there, he left him a half chance of playing the combination onto the 10. I mean, it is a real tough shot, but he still left the chance. And now, Levan is going to have to play another good shot, which is probably hooking behind the 6. What Levan needs to do here, though, Ted, is when he plays a hook behind the 6, if he does play it, he needs to push the 5 down a little bit, because it'll give Ruslan the opportunity to come off the top rail and make the 11 in the corner past the 2 ball. I have seen a shot what he can play, and it's a really good shot. Flick off the 6, you knock the 5 down past the 10, and you pot the 3 in the corner in the same shot.
Yeah, but the 3 doesn't pass.
Yeah, it does. It cannot miss the 3 ball. If it hits the 3, it's in. And what you do is you play it really slow so that the 5 ball just passes the 10. That in turn then gives you an angle to pot the 5 in the corner and knock the 6 out. And you're guaranteed to run out from there.
But the 2 ball and the 3 are touching. But you're saying if you hit it right, it will sort of carry him off the 2 and into the pocket?
Yeah, because he can't pot the 11 anyway. It's a free shot. And even if he leaves the 11, how's he going to get on the 10? To me, you have to play that shot. You're giving yourself a chance. Well, he may regret this, Mike Levan. See, that shot there, he could have played the same shot, Ted, but he brings the 5 out. And he can't play this shot because the 5's in front of the 10. And now what does he do here? All this has come, Ted, because of one bad shot selection, which was not bringing his 5 ball out when he had an opportunity there. He's going to try and pop the 10 here in the same shot, Ted. He needs to make it, though. Good shot, but he's left the bank. Or has he left the bank? Not sure from the camera angle if the 11 will pass the 8 into the side pocket. Well, he's going to have to hit it hard, but the problem is that the cue ball is stuck to the side rail.
Something you don't see too often. We haven't seen many extended safety battles this week.
Yeah, it's nice to see sometimes, though, Ted. You know, obviously all these players keep running out every 2 minutes. It's nice to see some tactics now and again. Well, he put all his eggs in one basket there, and he's left Levan a great opportunity to win this rack.
So Levan should get out here. He needs it. Down 7-3. The race to 16. Doesn't want to let it get away from him.
Yeah, he wants to leave the 4 ball over the centre pocket until last if he can. Maybe make the 3 and the 2, then the 6, or the 3, 6, 2. Doesn't really matter which way. Well, he's going a different route, but he'll still get out from here, I would think.
We were talking earlier about stamina. Filipinos are notorious for being able to play for like 15 hours a day. You've been to the Philippines, you see how they are.
Yeah,
they never seem to get tired, and those are in pool rooms where everybody's smoking. And
yeah, for anybody who wants to learn this game, I would recommend the Philippines.
oh yeah,
for obviously learning the game. I mean, you walk in the local pool hall and even the cleaner's a world beater. You know, there's so many great players over there, and even the great boxer Manny Pacquiao plays good pool.
yeah, he's pretty handy with a cue.
He's pretty handy with his fists as well.
Yeah. Your boy Ricky Hatton found that out.
Yeah, he was one of Britain's best boxers in my era, but unfortunately he got taught a lesson that day.
So Levan CORTEZA. And when you go to China, what are you discipline? Is it Chinese 8-ball?
Yeah, it's Chinese 8-ball, and I think that's one of the things where your patterns have to be unbelievably good at that game, because if they ain't, you can't win. You cannot win at all. You know, because them boys over there, they've played it all their lives, and when you're playing, they make it look so easy. You know, but Levan's been a little bit unlucky there. He's made a solid, and unfortunately, he can't make another one. He's in fact made 2 solids. And in these new rules, you have to take what you make.
That's it.
And if you make more solids than you make stripes, you have to take the solids. Which can be an advantage, but it can also be a disadvantage. I mean, when I played my match earlier yesterday, I made 4 stripes on the break, and I was hooked. You know, and I brought them perfect. You really couldn't miss them if I could see a stripe. But I got punished for a good break, but had my chances and threw it away, dogged it.
Well, you certainly did have your chances. You went right down to a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's...
And everyone was saying, I can tell you that everyone was saying, wow, you know, Melling's got this because he's got the steadier stroke, the snooker background, and all that.
Yeah.
What happened, pal?
I made 3 out of 3, and the bad shot what I played was the 4th shot, because I should have made it, and if I made it, I would have won. I still had my chances to win, and, you know, fair play to Johan, he played really well. And sometimes you have to take your hat off. Sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not your day, and there's no point complaining about it. What is what is. But I'll be back.
Good sportsmanship. Okay, so he just leaves the cue ball down table, hidden behind the 1. Sort of. So CHINAKHOV on to the stripes.
Great shot there. Really, really, really good shot there. That wasn't an easy shot on these tables. And he's not got another... Oh, does the pink stripe go?
Yes, it does.
Well, if he makes this, then he should really be out. Not too sure about that shot, Ted. He needs to get on the green stripe as soon as possible. That's really his bad ball. And the reason I say that is, if he can get on the green stripe, he can then pot it, get rid of all the traffic, play the is it the 11 ball? Play the 11 ball in past the 9 and hit into the 8 softly. That opens the ball up for the corner next to his 5 ball. He's going to spin this round 3 rails probably. Doesn't want to hit the 1 ball. See, now he's thinking, now he's made them balls, he's thinking, well, how do I get on that stripe ball that's next to the 5? And he can get on it, he needs to play the other stripe really, past the 9, the 11, and try and kill the cue ball to leave a natural angle. But there's only a small window for the cue ball to land in to get on these last stripe. That's why I would have screwed into the 8, just makes it a little bit easier. Just about perfect there, Ted. Natural angle to get on the 8 ball into the opposite corner pocket.
Some good, solid, workmanlike performance in this rack from Ruslan. I guess when you work your way through a rack like this, you have some issues with. You are enjoying the very best in 8-ball pool, the top of the world. This is the top of the food chain, folks. And it's the Molinari Players Championship here in New York City, a race to 16. There you see him, Ruslan CHINAKHOV, with an 8-4 lead over the Philippines' Livan CORTEZA. Ted Lerner with Chris Melling. Chris, this could have been you here in this finals. Very close. And, oh, by the way, there you see the racking pattern that they all must rack by. The white one is the solid, the blue and the stripe one, obviously the stripe. So it's got to be just like that, every rack. Not by numbers, but by stripes and solids.
Thanks for reminding me about that, Ted. I thought I'd go over it, but you've just reminded me. Thanks very much.
Well, I guess it's just part of the game, right? You know, what's so fascinating for fans like myself and all the others here about pool is that, I mean, your whole career sometimes ride on a millimeter of a turn of a ball. It's so cruel, but in a sense, it's also entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, the game of pool, I've always said it, that you're always going to lose more tournaments than you're going to win. That's the same in any sport on the planet. You know, even the great Phil Taylor at darts, he's lost more tournaments than he's ever won. Do you know? Because
he's a legend.
Yeah, he's the best that's ever lived. But especially pool, because you're not in control sometimes of what your opponent does, and also there's a little bit of luck involved. So it can be the difference between winning 50, 100,000 and winning £1,000. Great shot there by Livan. Needs to play the 9 ball off the 5 as soon as possible. He's looking at it, he realises now. He's got to be very careful. Very, very careful. The reason why I say he needs to play it as quick as possible is because if he has more stripes on the table, there's more chance he's going to land on one of his stripes. If he plays it later in the clearance, he may only have one stripe that he can land on, so he needs to get rid of it as soon as possible. For me personally, and it's only my opinion, I would play the orange 13, is it the orange 13 near the kitchen line, and send the white over towards the side of the table, or even just roll through a couple of inches, then play the 9 off the 5 and draw the cue ball back. That way you've got 3 stripes what you can play for.
And you've opened up the 8 ball.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's playing. Must make sure he hits a 5 ball here. He still will have another opportunity if he doesn't make it off the 5, as long as he makes the ball. Well, he's not playing it. This is risky. He's going to play it now, I think. See, I would have left that ball and played it the shot before. And the reason I say that, Ted, is you could have played the shot he's played there if you didn't knock the 8 ball out, and then play the ball off the cushion, off the 5. He's worried about sending that 8 ball in front of the 6 ball. He doesn't need to hit it that hard, though.
So this is the big shot of the rack here for Levan, and he needs to get this. Ruslan CHINAKHOV has a habit lately of being able to fend off opponents. And there you go, just as Chris said.
And there you go. What's happened, Ted, there? He's hooked himself.
Hooked himself.
If he doesn't play the ball he played the shot before, he's on it. It's just simple mistakes. Stupid mistakes. The good thing.
But why was the other ball? I mean, it wasn't in that much different of a position. But why? Are you saying because now he has one less stripe on the table, so he doesn't have? He's taking one less chance to maybe get open.
Yeah, the less balls you have on the table, the less chance you have of landing on one. The good thing here is he is a Filipino, and they're unbelievable at kicking balls.
Kicking the balls. That's right. Ooh, but not this time.
Not left anything easy though.
Well, Nick Varner often talks about that. Get rid of the problems on the table as soon as possible.
Yeah, the reason...
In 8 ball.
Yeah, the reason Levan potted the ball in the centre pocket was he tried to get the cue ball closer to the ball that he was trying to make to bring the 8 out. And it's just madness. Just absolute madness. He can't miss the ball. It's impossible. And should he have landed where he just landed, he was still perfect. Ruslan needs to be careful here. He's looking at playing the 4 ball as a combination down towards the 6, but that is really, really risky. It's the only ball that's dodgy on the table, and obviously he probably thinks that the 7 ball's too risky. Well, he's playing the bank. He's called the bank. This could go in off the ball, off the stripe. There you go.
Wow. Beautiful shot.
He never played that, Ted. I'll tell you now, he never, ever in 1,000,000 years played to play that off the stripe. He played it straight in, but I called that it'd go in off the stripe. It's just...
Why do you say that?
Well, it was a big pocket. If he hit it bad, there was a chance it would slide in off the ball, and it did.
But he was going for the clean pocket first.
Yeah, he was going for the clean pocket,
Okay.
yeah. You could play that 1,000 times, you might only get it 50.
It was a wow moment for the crowd, though.
Yeah, but again, the 8 ball is in a little bit of a tricky situation. Well, he's going to play the 1 ball here and draw back, try and leave himself straight on the 6, so he can just draw back about 6 inches and leave himself on the 8 in the corner. Too hard. Ooh, he might just be okay. He's a big lad, he's Ruslan. You can see easily reaching that. I'm not sure I'd be able to reach that one, Ted.
There it is. So it goes in 8 ball.
Another massive break there from Ruslan.
Oh, he just tore into that. He got a stripe down.
He's getting some rolls, I'll tell you that much. But Levan's made the mistakes, so the balls punish you when you make mistakes. There seems to be the old, as we say, pool gods punish you. And I cannot see how he can't get out from here. That is a perfect break, and that's the kind of break you want to win a tournament. straight away he's overdrawn the cue ball. He's that's because of his action, like I was saying earlier. He's got a very, very long action, like myself. But he seems to bring the cue off his hand every shot. You just watch when he brings the cue back. There, you see how far it came back?
Is that something that you would teach, or is that just personal preference?
It's personal preference. I mean, there's no right and wrong, but any coach would tell you never to bring it back that far for every shot. I mean, if you watch now, watch how far the cue ball comes, but the cue comes back. See? And he's only rolling it down the table.
You have a bit of a hesitation when you bring it back too.
Yeah, that's just a snooker background. I mean, I've personally never been taught how to play. Everything I've learned is from myself, basically, and from practicing with other good players.
And what is that hesitation? What is it? Is it something you just picked up from watching other people, or does it help you out?
Yeah, I think
or you don't even notice?
I think it just helps you out under pressure. It's just a little pause. I think you hit the ball cleaner. There's a better sound to the shot, you know. But, I mean, you can't say Ruslan's doing anything wrong because that's just his way, and it obviously works. But I don't think you'd really teach it. I mean, watch this shot. He's only rolling it. He brings it so far back, and he's only rolling it through 3 or 4 inches.
Something tells me, Chris, that some of our listeners, our viewers, are going to be trying that hesitation, the long stroke and the hesitation, now that you said. We're getting a lot of guys over from England, Ireland, Scotland, the guys who we hadn't normally seen at 9-ball or 10-ball tournaments. I think it's great. The guys are, I mean, Pat Holtz was saying you can't even find an American pool table in Scotland anywhere.
No, there's not too many in Scotland, but I will tell you one thing, Ted. There's probably another 50 English players that can play to a very, very, very high standard. I mean, you've got Gareth Potts for a start. He's just won the Chinese 8-ball championships 3 times, the Joy event. He's won that 3 times out of 5 years, and that is on a really tight pool table.
So are we going to start to see more of you guys coming over?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, who wouldn't want to come to New York City and compete for this for this nice prize fund?
But it's a great city, and you certainly see some characters over here, that's for sure.
And how about this break shot here?
Well, for somebody like Ruslan, they are actually unmissable. It's all about cue ball control here. Key to this shot is do not underhit it. Whatever you do, do not snook yourself behind the 15 ball. Perfect. Just wants to leave himself a little angle on the 3 so he can draw off the side rail up for the 8 in the opposite corner pocket.
There's that long cueing action.
And another great finish from Ruslan. He's certainly putting the heat on now.
Boy, oh boy, it's really all coming together for the big Russian. Won 4 straight, and these last 4 have been in dominating fashion. And even when it's been a bit of a slog of a rack, he's managed to pull through with some crafty shot making. So everything going his way. Levan Corteza, and there's a solid down.
Well, his break is absolutely unbelievable. He hits the break so good. I mean, I don't know too many people who can hit the break harder than he can. And again, it's all about this first shot. If he can make a spot or a solid, then he could be running another rack. Just not quite sure which one he can play. If he can play the 2-ball, I'm sure he will. I personally play this slowly, just so you're giving the pocket the best chance, and you're going to be on the 6 in the top left-hand corner. But he may play this with side to spin it round, but it makes the shot harder. Great shot. Brilliant shot there from Ruslan.
Well, he's just oozing with confidence right now.
Really good shot that was. Spun it with side. And these next few shots, he's just got to leave an angle on the 6 to draw up for the... well, it's a strange shot. I don't understand why he's not got rid of the 6 ball. But he's perfect. He's going his own way, and we can't question his way because he just keeps running racks on Levan.
Yeah.
This is the hurtful thing about the game, though, Ted. I mean, like I've played snooker and I've been around a lot of top sports people, and they've said, "Oh, this is the hardest game in the world mentally," and blah blah blah. But this is really one of the hardest games in the world. I mean, you can play tournaments and literally get to a final and not play a shot. I've seen Ralph Souquet do it in the European Championships. Got to the final, played the guy in the final, broke and ran 10 racks. The guy lost, never played one shot. I mean, mentally, it destroys you.
At that point, you just have to laugh. But, wow, this is... What's it like to be around Johan and listening to his philosophies and his training methods?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Johan is that mentally it gives you so much positivity when you're playing. I mean, even when the worst things in the world are happening to you, he makes things good. He makes things better. Like, I mean, when I played in the Moscone, a lot of things off the table happened in my life, which I won't go into too much detail about, but anybody who knows me knows what I went through. And he just made... I basically lost a few family members, and he made things so much better for me. And a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not sure I should really say it, but when we played the Moscone Cup, we all sat down. There was me, Darren, Ralph, Nick Vandenberg and Niels Feyen, and we all had to speak about what we'd done in the year and what we thought and what had happened to us and why we are there. Obviously we're there because we were successful during the year. And I told everybody what had happened to me, which the only person who knew was Darren. And everybody on the team started crying because it was just unbelievable what had happened. But it makes things so much better for you. You know, even when the worst things in the world have happened to you, it makes everything good.
So a simple technique like that, just sitting everybody down and getting them to open up.
Yeah, he just basically
brought the team together.
Yeah, he brings everybody together. Everybody's on a level par. Nobody's better than anybody else, and it just gives you so much confidence. I mean, I wish I had somebody like him behind, you know, just being there all the time and helping me out. And also his wife were there, and she helped. I mean, she got all the food in and the drinks and, you know, nutritional drinks and things like that.
Well, Ruslan broke dry, so that's why we see Levan up at the table here, and he is playing the solids. And he better play flawless 8-ball pool for the duration of this match. Down 12-4. It's winner breaks formats, so yes, it is possible to come back. He came back from a 9-4 deficit to Darren Appleton in the semifinals and won that match. So, yeah, it's possible.
Well, he basically needs to win this rack and run at least 4 racks, or at least win the next 4 racks. Obviously, try and keep Ruslan off the table, keep him cold. He's a little bit short there, he's Levan. The 4 ball is really the only ball that can catch him out. He needs to leave the 5 for last, really, to get on the 8. But we could see him play the 1, the 3, come down for the 5, then play the 4 and draw across. But great shot there from Levan. Really good shot that. That could have gone wrong. If it had gone between the gap, he could have been in trouble.
We'll say this about Levan. He's unflappable. He's taken a lot of heavy hits here in the last 30, 40 minutes. But he just gets right up and doing the same thing he's been doing all week long here at Steinway Billiards in New York City.
Again, he's lost the cue ball slightly. Could have done with being straight on this ball. He may end up running into the pink stripe. But he should be okay. He'll be able to pot the 5 and draw over, or stop the cue ball dead for the 8. One thing I will say about Levan, he has tremendous bottle. And it's one thing you do need in your army. You do need bottle at this game, because it's never over till the last ball goes in. He does look very, very snatchy on the cue. He's very quick with the cue ball, with the cue when it goes through. Just watch a quick action. See there, how quick? But he delivers the cue dead straight, and again, it works for him. It's complete opposite to how Ruslan hits the ball.
Well, it's a big break shot. He's got a ball down.
But he's got 2 solids, and the solids are all there. 4 and 2, the first 2 shots. I think what we'll see here, Ted, is 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 4, 2, 7, 6, 5, 8. Many opportunities here, and Levan needs to start taking these. He has had the chances early in the match, and if he'd have taken them, it'd have been very close with this game.
He's not rattled at all. Well, that's why he's here in the final.
Yeah, it looks like he's leaving the 7 ball to last. Going a different route, but short again. That's why he should have taken the pink first shot. He wouldn't have to go back up the table once he took the pink. Takes the pink 4, then the blue 2. He never has to go back up the table. Where he's gone down the table, up the table, then he's gone down the table again. Got to play a good shot here.
Oh, look out.
And that's all because he's played the wrong shot, Ted. He's been very, very fortunate not to scratch there. And he may be able to just roll his 2 ball in and hold for the 7. Yes, very good shot there. But very fortunate. Because if he hit the 2 ball slightly thicker, that cue ball was scratching.
There's a Filipino shot for you behind the back. And then he's going to go for the rest. Hardly ever see the Filipinos go for the rest.
Yeah, Levan's not very tall. He's only about 4'6". Great shot there from Levan. Really good shot there. Like you said, Ted, they don't use the rest very often.
So just like that, Levan looking like he's back in stroke. Well, we've seen that time and again. Jason Shaw was leading Johan Chua.
The cue ball, the cue ball.
Oh, no.
That's so unlucky. The cue ball got kicked straight in the side pocket, and he'll be disappointed there because it was a good break.
That's one of those things in pool, all disciplines. You can't really legislate for that. You can do your best to park that cue ball in the middle of the table, but sometimes another ball comes flying by and kicks it in the pocket just like that. So Levan has to take a seat, and Ruslan will try to get ever so closer to the finish line. Now, when you scratch, when you get it's ball in hand, but when it's on the break, the ball in hand is behind the line there.
Yeah, and he also has to shoot down the table. He can't shoot backwards.
Yeah, so the pink 4 and the yellow 1, he cannot shoot at unless he would bank it and bring it back up table, but of course he wouldn't do that. So he'll be going for the green 6. He picks solids. So Chris, come on, let's see how fast you can do the math. Take us through the pattern.
Well, I wouldn't have played that shot, that's for sure, because I wouldn't be able to reach the 1 ball.
Ah, interesting.
It's a little bit of a strange way he's going, but I do know the way he's going. He's going to go 4, 3, 7, 5, 2, 8. Or, if he lands a little bit dodgy, well, he's got to take the 4 ball here. This is craziness. He may get out, Ted, but it's completely the wrong shot. If he takes a 4, he can play the same shot he's just played. And he's straight in on the 2-7, cannon the 10, pot the 5, you're on the 8 in the right-hand corner.
Any reason why, you think?
Not got a clue.
Not thinking clearly?
Yeah, I just think he played a bad shot on the shot before. He may still get out, but I can assure you now, if this was on a Chinese 8-ball table, he wouldn't get out because it was the wrong way. You have to have good patterns. If he lands the wrong side of this 2-ball now, he could be in bother. He's okay, just about okay. But this would have been his last ball, Ted, if he'd have played the 4. And now you can understand why I said leave the 2 till last. It's a stop shot for the 8.
So now to get to the 8, cue ball's going to have to do a lot more traveling.
Yeah, he'd probably just play 2 rails here or 1 rail. I prefer the 2 rails, so you're coming into the 8 rather than going away to the 8. Just like that. Good shot there from Ruslan. Like I said, he's got out. Very good clearance.
Tell him you said that.
He knows. I tell him every time I see him. Wow, massive break again. How on earth has he not made a ball on that break, or has he? He hasn't. It's unbelievable how he can break so good like that and not make a ball.
Yeah, ball's flying everywhere. Nothing goes down.
Looks like he's going to have to take stripes, Ted. The only real problem, and I say problem, it's not really a problem, is the pink stripe that's next to the 3-ball.
Well, it does pass into the corner.
Yeah, I think for me, the way I would go about this, and again, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, I would play the 9 in the corner. I'd then play the 15 ball in the side pocket. I'd draw over. I'd play the 11 in the corner, and then the 13, I think it is, in the corner. Draw back, or even follow through. Play the 10, then the pink, stun off the cushion and back out, and your perfect angle on your last ball to get on the 8. That would be my way. And he's playing the combination shot. Not a bad shot. I just think that them 2 balls that are close together, it's easy to get on the pink stripe. He's probably going to play it now. That's a good shot. You may see Levan just roll this straight through to get on the stripe on the bottom end of the table. Got to be careful though. See now he's thinking he's not sure what to do now. I think he must play the pink stripe. Play it with a little bit of confidence. He's hooked on it. He's hooked on it. Again, the wrong shot. Why not just roll through? It doesn't matter if he's straight on the 10 ball, because he could play rail first and just draw it up the table. Well, I think you're going to see Levan play a bank on the 13 or cut it up the rail for the 11 for the combination. Oh, great shot. Played it in the side. Didn't realise it went in the side. Great shot there from Levan.
So still some work to do. He's also got some work to do in this match. He trails 13-6. And it's just a race to 16. So he's got to get this thing going right now.
Yeah, he needs to leave the 11 ball. He needs to leave the cue ball on the top rail, as close to the top rail as he can, really, so that it's easier to get from the 11 down to the 13. He's playing for the 13 now. Well, I do not understand these patterns. I'm sorry if I may sound a bit rude, but I just don't understand it at all. Surely that has to be his last ball to get on the 8. If you notice, he's gone up and down the table on nearly every single shot.
Which is what you and Nick Varner say you should never do.
You should never, ever, ever do it. And look at the shot he's got to play now. He's got to play this 11 ball really thin with a lot of left-hand spin. And there's no guarantee that he's going to get on the 8. He will have some kind of shot. There you go. Just because of the wrong pattern.
Boy, that's a disaster. I mean, of course, he's done all the dirty work. He's cleared off the table, and now look what he's left with. And
he's played the wrong way, Ted.
This could be the match here.
He's played the wrong way from the very first shot he played. It was a simple run out, and he's made it so difficult. I mean, he may have a bank, but, I mean, you wouldn't bet against him making this. These shots on these tables, are because the cloth's new, you have to play them thinner because they slide off the side cushion. This could go close. Nope, the slide of the table, you see.
What an advantage here for CHINAKHOV.
He'll be disappointed with that, Ted. A great opportunity again to win another rack, but I'll be totally honest with you, he's not turned up in this final, hasn't Levan, but you can't take nothing away from Ruslan. He's doing his job.
Well, he had a few bright moments a few minutes ago, Levan did. Looked like he was going to make that comeback, but, yeah, wasn't able to sustain it. Clearly had the wrong pattern there. I mean, to leave that kind of shot on an 8 ball, I mean, it was nigh impossible. And even worse, he did all the dirty work. He cleaned up the table and left the 8 ball. There's no obstacles for CHINAKHOV, so he's just going to pick these off, and he'll move within 2.
Oh, that was close. He should still get out from here, but he's making it a little bit more difficult. Well, what's he playing here? I would play this in the top pocket, me, Ted. I would never play it the way he's playing here. But a great shot, nevertheless. And you can't see him missing from here. Well, used all the pocket on that one, Ted. It was just the pace that kept that in the pocket.
Ruslan CHINAKHOV now 2 away from the championship. He leads 14-6. There's that big break again. He's got a solid down. And we're going to bring in Nick Varner. You know anything about this game, Nick?
Beg your pardon?
Well, it's been quite a show by Ruslan CHINAKHOV. What do you think about this giant break he's got?
I tell you one thing, that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Look like maybe CORTEZA Lee looks like he's ran out of gas. I think the Appleton match, I think he needed another hour or two to get settled down from that match. That really looks like it took a lot out of him. He hasn't looked like he looked like he'd be lucky to get win a match in the tournament the way he's played this, but it happens.
That was over 3.5 hours, that match. It was 28 racks plus the shootout.
And plus, it wasn't like the games were all throw-ins. They were games where, you know, it took a lot of time to figure out how to run out because it was so difficult in that match and stuff. And, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from CHINAKHOV. He's played that break is kind of scary, isn't it, if you have to compete against it? What do you think, Chris?
Well, his break is absolutely unbelievable. I wish I had his break. I think I'd have done a little bit better if I'd have had his break. That's for sure. But he's played a little loose shot there. The first shot he played, I thought he may have played on the 2-ball because it was his hardest shot. But he can hold for it in the corner here. And he's got a natural angles to roll past the 8-ball onto the bottom rail, which in turn will leave a natural angle to get back onto the 8 in the same pocket as the 3.
Hey, just going to punch this in probably and stay over there. No, he's coming back to the middle.
He jumped up a lot there, Nicky. You could see the nerves there.
Yeah. Well, he's starting to see. Victory is getting awful close here.
So give us the, what's the experience like, gentlemen? You know, you're one away. I don't get to lift the trophy like you guys do.
I haven't lifted any for a while.
No, me neither. Just when you thought it was over.
Tell you what. Let's see here.
A little bit of work to do there, Nick.
Yeah, this is kind of the way they go. Sometime. Oh, you have to take solids, don't you, if you can make one?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the 11 goes past the 2 in the side pocket.
11.
If it does, he may be able to draw off the 9.
Yeah, then you would take stripes. He's taken.
Well, I'm not sure about that shot, Nick. That would be one of my guaranteed shots.
Well, he actually felt pretty good. I think he can play the 6 and go into the 10.
Yeah, he just needs to be careful of the 9-ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to get too much English on the cue ball.
Well, you called it. Not your first day on the job, is it?
Yeah, the match seems to have gone like that. I mean, personally, there with Lee Van's first shot, I would have played the 1-ball because you need to get rid of the 1 so that the 4 goes. I'd have spun around the back of the is it the 14, 13? Yeah. And I would have played the 3 and gone up the table. But I certainly wouldn't have potted the ball over the middle because that would have been one of my insurance balls.
I tell you what, he's running out of ammo here. at least in order to get that 7 out. Of course, he can bank it, but who wants to bank that ball? Of course, it looks like I think what I'd do is go rail first on this 3 and try to get that angle on the 6 and leave this 4 here for maybe if I'm lucky enough to break them out, I have an easy ball to shoot. I wouldn't shoot this 4, would you?
No, I'd definitely play the 3 ball and just leave a half ball angle, roughly where he's put the cue.
Right.
Play 2 rails and try and hit the 10 ball on the right hand side, so it knocks the 4 towards the centre pocket and the cue ball comes away, because the last thing you want to do is stick behind that 10 ball. That's just about perfect. It would be very, very unfortunate to not land on this 7 or the 4. It's a plain ball shot, no side required. Just don't hit it too hard.
Wow. Maybe, boy,
He's been a little bit unfortunate there, but
yeah, he caught that 10 so square.
yeah, I mean, he played the shot very quickly, though. I mean, 9 times out of 10 he probably wouldn't have landed there, but I'm not convinced he played it the right way.
I think just a little more speed, number 1.
Yeah, because as long as a 10 ball comes away from the rail, you have a shot. I mean, I still think he can make this, but...
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be tough. It's close. Well, Ruslan is in winning territory here.
Yeah, he's got one major problem, and that is the stripe next to that 4.
Well,
I guess it's a 13.
Yeah, I'm thinking, can he pot the 11, leave the white near the top rail, pot the, is it the 13 ball, and then play the 9 ball. He could even play it now. Well, maybe he needs to draw the white back a bit. Play the 9 ball, rail first into the 7, and hook him behind the green stripe, and try and pot the 7 in the same shot. Or vice versa here.
Yeah, I like that.
He's basically killing the game if he plays the shot. He may even pot this. It may even go off the ball and off the 4 and in the corner.
Come off a 4 and then hit the 7 and go in maybe 2. But I think he's mostly going to let him kick.
This is close. Well, I would have called that, Nick. I would have 100% called that shot, just in case.
It goes. Yeah, because he's out if he does.
And you know what the Filipino are like with the kick shots. If he hits his 4 ball or the 7, the likelihood is it's in. But it's such a tough shot because of the table sliding and...
Well, if that 15 wasn't there, he would have a heck of a chance to kick this in.
Yeah, definitely.
That 15's really blocking the main path you need to go here.
The only problem he would have playing the 2 or 3 rail kick would be if he does pot the 7, he may knock the green in front of the 4 ball. But he's playing it. I think he's going to hit the 11 ball here. I don't think he's thought about the slide of the table. This looks really close to the 11. What a shot. What a shot.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant shot from Levan there. Deserves so much better than that. But it's an easy kick shot.
Yes, yes.
I cannot see him missing this 4 ball.
Yeah, he should make the 4. The 8's going to be the tougher one, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be a real tough shot from the bottom rail. Brilliant shot, though, because it was...
yeah, that was a fantastic kick shot.
It was do or die. He should make this, though, Nick. I mean, this is 99 out of 100, I would think. Wow, he's hit it so slow. I don't understand why he's hit it so slow.
I guess that's that 1%.
There's always that 1%. that it may go wrong, and that was just that. And this is for the title. 5 balls away from his first major title.
I think I'd shoot the long ball. I think I'd leave that stripe so that it's over.
Yeah, I think that's what I would have done as well.
I might even.
I would shoot the 10
He don't
in
have
the
a
corner.
very good angle on this 15.
Yeah.
I like this.
Shoot the 10, roll it in. You've got an absolute natural angle. And it's hard to miss this because of where the 4 ball is.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's played it inside.
Even better, huh?
It's hard to see from this commentary box.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of times you really get fooled on what's possible, especially on those side pocket shots. Most of them look like you can't make them, and they make a lot of them.
2
Of
balls
course,
away.
this is not ideal right here. He may have to bump it.
I think he can just run through with a touch of left-hand spin.
Oh, it goes in this pocket. I see right there. I thought that 4 was blocking this, and this is for the championship. And big smile there. He's a happy camper, and
Well, a brilliant performance there from Ruslan CHINAKHOV. Certainly a deserved winner.
yes, he did deserve it. He played awful good. He played awful good, especially today. Nobody put the 2 matches he played, nobody really put a glove on him.